They called her the most beautiful woman in the world. Hollywood saw a face, a silhouette, a fantasy. And for years, that's all they wanted her to be. But while cameras rolled and contracts were signed, while men told her where to stand and how to smile, she was solving a problem the US Navy couldn't. And when she brought them the answer, they didn't reject the idea, they rejected her. Because she was beautiful, and beautiful women weren't supposed to be brilliant. This is the story of Hedy Lamarr and the invention that helped shape the modern world. Hedy Lamarr was not born Hedy Lamarr. She was born Hedwig Maria Eva Keisler in Austria, 1914. Her family was educated, curious, observant, and her father did something unusual at the time. He encouraged questions, not obedience, not silence, questions. By the age of 5, Hedy wasn't playing with toys, she was dismantling them. And not to be destructive, but to understand the components and how they moved. And that instinct never left her. But the world had other plans. Because Hedy was intelligent, and she was beautiful. And in the early 20th century, beauty was the only thing people were willing to pay her for. As a young woman, Hedy entered film in Europe. She became famous quickly, and famous women attract powerful men. One of them was Friedrich Mandel, rich, influential. He was an arms manufacturer with ties to fascist governments. He didn't admire her talents, he wanted to own her. Their marriage wasn't glamorous, it was controlled, isolated, suffocating. She wasn't allowed to act, and she wasn't allowed to work. But she was allowed to sit quietly at dinner parties. And those dinners, they weren't about small talk, they were about weapons, about military technology, and radio-controlled torpedoes, and how easily they could be jammed. Hedy didn't speak, she listened. She absorbed information the way she always had. Quietly, methodically. This marriage was a prison, but it was also a classroom. In 1937, Hedy escaped. She fled to London, where she met Louis B. Mayer of MGM. He saw what everyone else saw, a star. He changed her name, changed her image, changed her future. Hedwig Keisler became Hedy Lamarr, and Hollywood loved her. She was cast as exotic, mysterious, untouchable. And that's where the illusion begins. Because fame looks like freedom, but it isn't. Hedy was paid well, but she was boxed in. She wasn't hired for her mind, but she used it anyway. In her trailer, between takes. She designed inventions no one would ask her to explain, because no one thought to ask. Then Europe collapsed and Austria fell to Germany. Her family fled and her homeland was gone. And then something happened that changed her focus entirely. A ship carrying evacuees, children, was sunk by a German U-boat. Most of them died. Hedy was furious. Not helpless, not sorrowful, furious. She didn't want sympathy, she wanted solutions. And at a dinner party in Hollywood, she met a composer by the name of George Antheil. He understood rhythm, timing, synchronizations. And that gave Hedy an idea. What if radio signals couldn't be followed? What if they jumped constantly from frequency to frequency, like the keys of a piano player? 16 frequencies perfectly harmonized, impossible to jam. And together they built it, not in a lab and not for money, but because it needed to exist. They patented the invention and the Navy looked at it, and they said no. Not because it didn't work, but because they didn't believe she could have built it. So instead they gave her a different assignment. Sell war bonds, smile for the camera, kiss sailors, be useful in a way they understood.
America's war bond campaign is in full swing, and it's not surprising to find that Hedy Lamarr is a bestseller. When this picture was taken at Newark, New Jersey, she told us that her record was $3.5 million worth to date. That surely entitles her to give the Churchill sign. Film star.
And she did. She raised millions, more than most factories, and her invention filed away and forgotten, mocked at the press. Because the idea that a movie star could outthink military engineers, it made people uncomfortable. And here's where it gets infuriating. Because years later, the military quietly used her invention. Then came GPS and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, all built on the same principle, frequency hopping. Hedy Lamarr never made any money from this. Recognition for it came late. But when she did get recognition, she said something simple. She said she was glad it wasn't made in vain. They called her the most beautiful woman in the world, but beauty didn't change the world. Her mind did. From the observation deck, I'm Kim. Question everything. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. It really makes a big difference on the channel. This episode is going to be added to our playlist, which I'll link below for the badass women in history. And I hope as the playlist grows, you also enjoy those episodes.